Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Western Union is jumping into the world of crypto after previously bashing XRP. And not that they did it in a particularly nasty type of way, but they did, and I think that the message that they conveyed to the general public was so scant that it didn't accurately reflect what was actually going on behind the scenes regarding Ripple's relationship with Western Union. But it's just interesting to see, and we do keep seeing this. This is like the recurring theme here is that firms maybe they're not particularly interested in crypto, at least front facing. That's what they articulate to the world. But then let X amount of time pass, and suddenly they're jumping in. It's been the story with Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, BlackRock, and Western Union didn't seem to think that it made sense to use cryptocurrency to help move money around the planet. But and we don't have full, they're not being that transparent. We don't have a full understanding of exactly what they're doing, but they're jumping into the world of crypto in a number of ways, including, it looks like they want to perhaps even have their own cryptocurrency exchange or something. That I'll share with you the specifics as well as the background. But there's that, and then there's also this story from the Crypto Basic. Ripple CTO expresses excitement over XRPL EVM sidechain development. So I got two stories for you in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So let's kind of set the table, make sure we're all working with the same background material, because this story started with a lot of excitement, then a lot of disappointment, then a bit of excitement again, and then nothing for a long time, and now Western Union is doing a thing? Well, check this out. So the relationship between Western Union and Ripple, and thus XRP, dates back to the beginning part of 2018. Can you believe in just a couple more months, few more months, going to be at 5 years since this story began. But here's a headline from Futurism. Western Union confirms plans to experiment with Ripple. And so I'll note here that they weren't just going to experiment, quote unquote, with the messaging side of things, what Ripple offers, with what was then known as Xcurrent. Now the software it's just known as RippleNet. But they were also planning on testing XRP. And they did. But sad headlines resulted just months later, several months later. You can see here is a headline from June 14th, 2018, which is, coincidentally, the same date as the Billy Boy Hinman Ethereum Free Pass speech, but that's not what I'm talking about. I just thought I'd mention that. But here's a headline from Crypto Globe. Western Union CEO shocks Ripple community. No cost savings seen by using XRP during XRapid trial. Now, I remember seeing this headline and being like, what in the ever-loving hell, how could this be? And this is before I had even launched my my YouTube channel at this point. I was already in the world of crypto at that point, but I didn't launch my channel until December of 2018. But I remember seeing this headline like, how could this be? And so I did look into it. And I kind of figured out what was going on here. And this is where I was like, okay, like, it's fine if you're not jumping on board with XRP and Ripple right now. I got it. In fact, at that point, they really couldn't because, XRapid, which is what is now known as, it's been rebranded to on-demand liquidity today. Well, XRapid, it was only in pilot mode anyway. Like, you couldn't jump on. There wasn't the final version that was used, and there weren't a bunch of corridors open anyway, so you weren't going to have that. But to state that it wasn't working for you based on your various tests, well, here's why it's disingenuous, and this is why I kind of grinded my gears a little bit, because it painted a picture that wasn't exactly sharing, what was going on behind the scenes. So here's another headline from Finder. Ripple isn't saving us money, says Western Union CEO. Here we go. Ripple XRP just isn't doing it for Western Union. And again, this is June 14th, 2018. So what Ripple XRP just isn't doing it for Western Union, said Western Union CEO Hikmet Ersek to Fortune in a recent interview. The practical matter is it's still too expensive, he said. We are always criticized that Western Union is not cost efficient, blah, 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 but we did not see that part of the efficiency yet during our tests. And that was a quote. I don't want to kill it, Ersek said of the partnership with Ripple. He said the crypto company was very innovative, but Western Union just wasn't feeling the benefits. So how is this possible? Well, there are a number of reasons that Western Union CEO Hikmet Ersek Well, then CEO, he's not the CEO of the company anymore. But there are reasons that he was saying this. Now, consider this. Who does it make sense for who does it make sense to use XRP as a bridge currency? Well, the small and mid-sized financial firms, effectively, so banks and remittance firms. If you're one of the largest banks on the planet, or if you're Western Union, with Western Union, if I'm recalling correctly, I believe they're the largest remittance firm on the entire planet. If memory serves, I believe they're way, way, way bigger than MoneyGram, and they've been around for about 150 years. They've got very effective treasuries the world over. Most firms can't afford to have Nostro accounts the world over, but since Western Union does, they're not incurring the same cost that their smaller competitors were. Because understand, the smaller firms out there are the ones that pay their larger competitors to tap into the liquidity. Because if you're a small company, small remittance firm, small bank, you don't have the funds to deposit all over the world to facilitate, transactions in exotic corridors or even non-exotic corridors necessarily. It's very costly to do so. So it's not surprising that the largest remittance firm on the entire damn planet would be less likely to see truly impressive results. Though I did see, and that doesn't paint the whole picture though, I'll get to the rest in just a sec, but I wanted to note that I remember an interview from Brad Garlinghouse responding to that critique, and Brad Garlinghouse said something to the effect of, look, Western Union, they've been around over 100 years, and in 6 months, we matched the efficiency of their treasuries that they spent over 100 years building. In 6 months, we matched it. And so I was like, okay, fair enough point. Now, that's not the only reason, though. But look, I just want to be clear. Let me say it one more different way just to make sure that we're on the same page here. The largest firms out there are the least likely to adopt XRP as a bridge currency. Now, it doesn't mean that it wouldn't make sense at some point in the future, but if you're getting paid from your smaller competitors, you're going to be less likely to, give up the Nostro Vostro situation that exists today. But even setting that aside, even if it's at parity, like let's say it saves you $0, but it's equivalent, well, you'd still have all of that additional capital free if you could tap into liquidity elsewhere. So there is that benefit as well. Anyway, piece continues though. Ashish Burla, Ripple's senior vice president of product, isn't surprised that Western Union isn't feeling the benefits. He points out that Western Union's test consisted of only 10 payments in the Mexico and USA corridor. Folks, yes, you heard that right. They said, well, we haven't seen the benefits. Bitch, you did 10 payments. You did 10 payments. Was this going to be earth-shattering? Of course not. And so I think that was kind of hidden in the under some of these headlines here, and it scared a lot of people at first. Like, wait a minute, does it mean that what Ripple's doing is just not something that even makes sense? Do we not fully understand the nuts and bolts? Is this really not a reasonable, serious value proposition? There's nothing here with XRP as a bridge currency. Well, no, they did 10 payments in the Mexico and USA corridor. Now, presumably, since they have highly efficient treasuries, they probably already had accounts in both countries. Most firms don't on the planet. Most financial firms aren't going to be in such a situation. And then they did 10 tests. Even if it saved money to any degree, it's 10 payment tests on a pilot. So check this out. So here is the quote from Ashish Burla of Ripple. He said, if they were to move volume at scale, then maybe you would see something. But with 10, it's not surprising that they're not seeing cost savings. They do millions of transactions a month, and I'm not surprised that with 10 transactions, it didn't have earth-shattering results, end quote. Yeah, exactly. So there's the other piece of the puzzle here. And then to wrap it up, it says, by his estimates, Western Union would be able to enjoy savings of up to 50% per transaction if it expanded the pilot payment to all of its payments. Right, so this doesn't paint a full picture. Doing 10 little tests, it's not reasonable to suspect. And that's why it was kind of disappointing, given the scale, that they would even, that the then CEO would even articulate this. And so then we just kind of assume, most of us are like, well, I guess, does that mean they're just out? They're not consenting? Well, no. As it turns out, they actually did continue as a partner with Ripple, just not jumping onto the production version of XRapid, which again became on-demand liquidity. But a year later, you can see Western Union CEO changes tune towards Ripple amid MoneyGram deal. So after the Ripple and MoneyGram deal solidified, Western Union, they did start to change the way that they were talking. The CEO specifically, in fact, here is a quote from him. He was speaking at a Fortune event, and he said, look, hey, I'm open. Any cost savings, any innovation, I'm there. We can sign a deal tomorrow. That's a quote from then CEO Hikmet Ersek. And it is a shame, obviously. I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention this, but it's really unfortunate that the Ripple MoneyGram partnership has been shredded to pieces thanks to the SEC. So, but either way, it doesn't mean that Western Union, because of MoneyGram, was going to jump on any sooner. They're in a different position with the way that their treasuries function. So, honestly, in terms of if you could rank every remittance firm on the planet in terms of likelihood of or benefit that they'd get from using XRP as a bridge currency, like, to be fair, there are tons of firms that obviously would benefit in corridors where XRP is available as a bridge currency via Ripple Nets on-demand liquidity, but Western Union would be at the bottom of the list of companies that would be most helped. I mean, maybe doing it at scale, you could say, but in terms of like, who needs that? In terms of that, if you look at it that way, not Western Union, not as much. Doesn't mean that it couldn't help them in the future one day. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying that Ripple's bread and butter, and Ashish Birla has articulated this in the past. Their best potential customers are small and mid-sized companies, and they realized that many years ago. They're not positioned at today's point in time to help the largest banks on the planet. That's just and that's fine. It's good to know who your ideal customer is, and they get it. But still, they're jumping into crypto now, which is interesting. And given how scant some of the details are, like if they give like broad descriptions of what they're doing, Western Union jumping into crypto now. It makes me wonder, based on, and you'll see why as we go through this, it makes me wonder if they are seeing the value of utilizing a cryptocurrency as a bridge currency and then some, because they're trying to, like, here's what they're doing. They're adapting. And I've said this long before, like the lines are going to get blurred between traditional finance and, the world of crypto. It's all going to become one. And those firms that don't adapt are going to be the first to die. And Western Union isn't just adapting in that sense. They're expanding to all sorts of various facets of what's happening in the world of crypto. But even so, understand that they can't just like create their own coin and then there's magically liquidity and it's magically decentralized and adopted. It doesn't work like that. So I'm not saying they're going that route. If they do want to plug in a cryptocurrency as a bridge currency, the only realistic way I think to do this, if they want to do it in a decentralized type of way, is use something that already exists, and XRP is best positioned for this. So it doesn't mean they couldn't use it in greater way in the future. And my understanding is that they are still, even today, in a partnership with Ripple. They're just not utilizing the technology as a customer. But even in 2019, when that MoneyGram deal happened, the then CEO of Western Union said, "Oh yeah, we're still working with Ripple." It's just that they weren't using any of their production software at that point. At least, not that it's been publicly made available. That information hasn't. So, but here's the headline from the Crypto Basic: Western Union files trademark applications for crypto exchange, transfer, brokerage, and more. Western Union makes the first move and attempts to penetrate the crypto scene as it files applications for Web3, crypto, and metaverse trademark. The cryptocurrency scene has often been compared to the advent of the World Wide Web in the 1990s as adoption surged. Several top corporations have indicated an interest in penetrating the cryptocurrency scene, with others fully embracing it. American multinational financial service company Western Union is the latest to indicate interest in entering the scene. Western Union recently filed 3 trademark applications in the areas of Web3, crypto, and metaverse, as revealed by USPTO licensed trademark attorney Mike Kondutis. Despite disclosing limited information on the development, the purposes of the trademark applications point to an intent to penetrate the crypto sector. So there you go. They may not have at the time years ago seen, that's what they said anyway, seen the value in plugging in a cryptocurrency. And by the way, that CEO, he spoke specifically about XRP, but also broadly he said he didn't see how it made sense to plug in a cryptocurrency. And again, for them, fine. Maybe where they're at in that point in time and with how many corridors are open specifically with on-demand liquidity, okay, fine. I wish he would have been... I wish he would have approached it a different way. I think I've made my piece clear on that. But anyway, so then they also write here, despite... here it is. Here it is. Yeah, this is the quote. Western Union has filed 3 trademark applications claiming plans for financial, plus banking, plus insurance. Then they got 3 bullet points. Number 1, virtual currency exchange plus transfer. Okay, so that is curious. So they're going to create their own cryptocurrency exchange? And then they wrote plus transfer. Okay, transfer in what way? I mean, stuff transfers on cryptocurrency exchanges. Why did you need to plug that in? Are You're talking about moving the movement of money utilizing a cryptocurrency exchange to facilitate the transactions of money around the planet. Is that it? I don't know. They're not saying it, but it makes you wonder, why are you throwing in plus transfer rate? There's got to be a reason for that, because of course they're transferring a cryptocurrency exchange. That's the point of it. Damn it. It's for trading, right? So are they now seeing the potential for utilization of a bridge currency in the future? It makes me wonder. And again, if they ever do get it, again, unless they're going to try and do something really stupid and have a centralized coin, you need to use something that's already decentralized and out there and has sufficient liquidity. And you can't program liquidity. Either a coin is adopted and people are buying and selling it at certain volumes, or they're not. So if you truly want something decentralized and you see the value in that, I don't know why you wouldn't just use XRP, which is the best crypto on the planet for payments. It just is. Then also here you can see another bullet point: commodity and crypto trading plus brokerage. And then the third one is issuing tokens of value. Interesting. I don't know what they mean by that. Are they going to allow people to on their platform? I don't even know what the hell that means. It's so vague. There's no way we could know, which is why we're just left to speculate, which is perfectly reasonable. That's why I was engaging in a little healthy speculation here. But either way, either XRP is going to make it cheaper for money to move around freely all over the planet, or it won't. And it's very clear now that it does, but specifically for small and medium-sized customers. That's who can be helped the most. That's why Ripple has dozens of customers today utilizing XRP as a bridge currency. That makes all the sense in the world. Then there's this from the Crypto Basic. Ripple CTO expresses excitement over XRPL EVM sidechain development. And this is something that I had reported on recently, so I'm going to be somewhat brief on this, but I wanted to share with you what David Schwartz had to say. In a tweet on Monday, Ripple CTO David Schwartz disclosed that he is excited to see what people build on the XRP Ledger Ethereum virtual machine sidechain. As per Schwartz's statements, Ripple and XRPL developers have been working on the sidechain for some time now. And here's a quote: "It's been some time coming, but we can't wait to see what dApps you build with an EVM sidechain on XRPL. Testing is now live on DevNet. Send us your feedback so we can keep iterating," Schwartz tweeted. And so this is so fascinating to me, because like I understand the two cryptocurrencies out there with the largest market caps are Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it's funny that Bitcoin doesn't work as a peer-to-peer cash system on its own. You need to stack technology on top of that to use it, to actually use it in the world of payments, because it's just so slow and costly. It's an energy hog, all that. And that problem actually has been solved by Spend the Bits. The problem has already been solved. They tokenized a representation of Bitcoin on the XRP ledger. It's fully backed by actual Bitcoin, which means that people using that to actually spend it as money, they're treating it as though it is actual Bitcoin. So you got the representation. The problem has been solved. And so it's just interesting to see XRP Ledger solving that. And then you have Ethereum also fine. So they switched to proof of stake, and I've seen the comments from Vitalik Buterin, just like I'm sure many of you have. Proof of stake plus sharding to come in the years in the future will result in 100,000 transactions per second. Okay, well maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but we're not there today. And so it's just interesting to see that you can actually have smart contract functionality utilizing XRP if you just use it as a sidechain. So it's just interesting to see again and again the XRP ledger is being used to fix other blockchains that have tremendous shortcomings. So when you pair them together like a spaghetti and meatball, it actually kind of works out. So it's good for Bitcoin, it's good for Ethereum, and it's good for XRP and the XRP ledger. It's just interesting to see that. And this has been in the works for a long time. I don't want to read this whole thread from David Schwartz, but it was from September of last year, actually. But you can look at this one tweet here, which reads as follows: "And we're working on an Ethereum virtual machine sidechain. Between Ethereum smart contracts, hooks, and smart transactions, XRPL developers will be able to build whatever they want." So think about that. You're getting the blazing fast speed of XRP because it's just like, it's good at what it does. And if you try and make any blockchain be all things to all people, you're going to fail. That doesn't work. There are always trade-offs. But since XRP is just really good at facilitating payments, using it as a sidechain for Ethereum smart contracts, we'll see what happens with it. How would that not be appealing? And that was kind of the concept that David Schwartz has been articulating for over a year at this point. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.